We gotta make some changes because things are not working out very well. Unfortunately, these will not fit like a So I ordered this bed off Amazon. It was super cheap, like 300 bucks. It's a mid-height bed rack, and this tent is an inspired Overland tent that I am borrowing from a friend. And I made a video earlier, kind of on Instagram and all that, talking about why I'm not a huge fan of the mid-height bed racks. But in this video, I'm going to kind of explain why all of this is going to go away for a while. So number one being visibility. The visibility with the mid-height bed rack as well as the tent. It's kind of pretty hard to see anything out of the back. And probably another very easily noticeable one is how much the tent overhangs. So I was at Core this past weekend and I hit my head on this all the time. Not to mention with not having like a slide or anything, I would have to get inside the bed to get anything, and I was always hitting my head on that mid-height bed rack. So fast forward a couple days and I reinstalled the soft topper so that way I can kind of show you guys kind of my big reason for why I wanted to go back to this setup. Now if you can tell, it's been raining all day here and the Jeep is pretty wet, and the inside of the bed is all dry. And this is really my main reasoning for not liking bed racks in general, is I really like having my gear clean as much as possible. And yeah, I do use like totes and things like that, so the gear inside is always protected, but then again, I'm always having to grab a dirty tote, take it out of a dirty Jeep, you know, do whatever I need to do, and then pack all that dirty stuff back away, and not really a big fan of that. I am kind of planning to do a custom like setup in the back that I'm going to end up building out hopefully before Overly in the Red, but I don't think I'm going to end up doing like a deck system or like an SHW, one, because I'm kind of being cheap with this build, and I think a single drawer system would work out better for what I intend to do in the back there. Plus having the topper, I think the setup will work out pretty nice. So I'm just gonna make my own. And plus with it getting into the colder season now here in Michigan, I'm gonna be doing probably a lot more solo camping than I am going to with like Caitlin and my daughter. So if it's mainly just gonna be me, I can do a ground tent, no problem. Plus the only big event I have coming up this year is Overly in the Red, which I really wish I would have had this set up at Core that I just got back from, and that would have been just a ground tent with some stuff, so that way I could leave it at my spot, you know, go out wheeling for the day, and then come back and not have to worry about setup or anything like that, because there were a couple times where I'd be in and out of camp and things like that. Now granted, of course, like a rooftop tent doesn't take that long, especially these wedge styles are super fast setup. For example, when I left Core, it was raining pretty good, so having to pack everything, the tent away in the rain wasn't fun, things like that, which, you know, ground tent's pretty easy to do. You can, even if you pack it away in the wet season or whatever, you just throw it out when you get home and let it do its thing, and you can go off and do whatever you need to. So pretty much I'm just going to be waiting and rocking this soft cover with my current setup, I guess you could call it, until I do end up getting a topper on the Jeep. And if you've heard me mention that we're going to be getting a custom one, we've kind of changed plans a little bit with that, and we are going to be doing the Alu-Cab topper for this, which I had the opportunity to check one out at Core, and it's going to be a pretty sweet addition to the Jeep whenever I can get my hands on one of those. But that will pretty much wrap this short video up for you guys. Super excited, we're moving into the new house officially, and as you can see behind me, we have a big pole barn to play around in, so I'm going to be working on getting some power out here, getting it insulated, and building a loft kind of up behind me, so that way this will be a super sweet spot for me to do all the things content wise and just hanging out in general. If you guys are not subscribed, I would really appreciate it if you would do that and join the little following we have here. A like is always appreciated, or if you didn't like the video, give me a comment, let me know why, or if you just don't like my face, it's whatever. I'm really hoping that I can get out once before Overly in the Red, which is coming up kind of like late-ish October, so I am super stoked for that. We did do a little bit of wheeling with the Jeep and Core, and I was having a blast in that. And until then, we'll catch you guys in the next one.